Welcome to 2-Bit Gaming. Today's topic, the death of Atari. The 2600 was good. It was so good, in fact, that it outlived its ill-conceived successor, the 5200. I don't have one, so I can't show you because, well, it sucks so much I can't justify the purchase. The thing was notorious for not working. The controller would break within just a few hours of use. If you really want to know how bad it sucks, you should watch the Angry Video Game Nerd's review of the 5200. After watching it, only the most devoted collectors would ever want to own the thing. With that said, if there's anyone out there that has one, wants to get rid of it, I'd be happy to take it off their hands. Anyway, Atari answered all of the 5200 complaints when they released the 7800. It looks like a smaller, sleeker version of the 5200, and it did come with a redesigned controller that worked pretty well. The 7800 had a lot of great games. Some of my favorites include Ball Blazer. It was made by LucasArts, and it's a sort of futuristic soccer game. Alright, Double Dragon. This is very similar to the original arcade game, although it doesn't look as good as the original or even the NES version, but it's still fun to play, and it's really hard too. Here's a classic, Joust. Again, it doesn't look as good as the other versions, but all the gameplay is there, and it's a blast to play with a friend. Choplifter. The basic premise of this game is to fly around, save POWs, dodge bullets, and blow up tanks. Lots of fun. Rampage. This is one of my younger brother's favorite games of all time. Basically, you play as a giant monster, and you get to destroy buildings and cause havoc. Pole Position 2. I have a lot of fond memories of playing this as a kid. You have several tracks to race on, and it's very similar to the arcade game. Alright, last but not least, Mario Brothers. Not Super Mario Brothers, this is the older arcade-style game. You may be familiar with this if you have any of the Game Boy Advance Mario games, since this was included as a bonus. Inside, it was more like the older 2600, but with a faster processor, more RAM, and it was backwards compatible with the ridiculously large library of 2600 games. That's right, the 7800 made backwards compatibility a no-brainer over 20 years ago. So I don't know what's up with today's console makers' wonky, half-assed efforts. Aside from buttons that tend to wear out, I've had to replace mine twice. There was one problem for the 7800. Due to marketing and business partner issues, the system wasn't released until 1986. You see, Nintendo released the NES in 1985 and stole the show. Atari was completely outclassed in both hardware and software. Once audiences fell in love with Nintendo's Little Italian Plumber, there was no hope for Atari to ever release another home console. Or would they? That's right, the Atari Jaguar. You remember when I said the 5200 sucked? Well, this doesn't quite suck that bad, but it still sucks. Atari said it was a 64-bit system, but nobody believed them. One look at any of the fuzzy and blocky attempts at 3D graphics was enough to turn even the most die-hard Atari fan to the competition. Look at this stupid controller. Look at all the buttons. It's like someone at Atari said, "More bits means more buttons!" It would have been an impressive system had it been released during the 16-bit generation, which was their original plan, but Atari once again missed the boat. They sent it to market just as gamers were getting ready for the Sony PlayStation and Sega Saturn. There were also whispers of an actual 64-bit system from Nintendo on the horizon. In the end, the system was plagued with a library of third-rate games that nobody wanted to play. Blunder after blunder, this was the end of Atari as a console maker. Today, it's just a brand name that gets passed around from company to company, currently owned by Infogrames. So there you have it. Atari survived the fall of the video game industry, only to slowly destroy themselves. I still recommend the 2600 or the 7800.
It's time for Kane's 2 Bits.
1. The Atari Jaguar sucks. The 5200 sucks balls. 2. The 7800 is pretty good, but it was too little too late. That's my 2 bits. If you have any thoughts on today's topic, please leave a comment or video response. As always, I'm your humble 2-bit gamer. Thanks for watching.